So you want to fly the Anvil F7C-M Super Hornet? Sit down, strap up, and let's go.
Anvil Aerospace. All systems online.
So here we have the Anvil Super Hornet. It is a variant of the F7C Hornet. This is the F7CM model. It is almost identical in every way to the F7C Hornet, except for it has a second seat, as we can see up here just in back of the pilot seat. Now, as we'll show later on, the second seat has certain functions. It could be what is typically a radar intercept officer, or it can be someone who can run your ball turret or your two-gun turret that's mounted to the top of the aircraft. In the future, once co-pilots and gunners have the ability to manipulate and manage shields, that will also be an option. But other than that, it is almost identical to the Hornet, just a little bit heavier. It's actually a little bit slower in my experience. But it does fight and play quite the same as the regular Hornet. I believe, but I am not 100% sure, it is going to have less armor overall. And right now we are experiencing shield holes with this aircraft because I believe they gave it the F7 Hornet's shields, which only go out to a certain distance. And that doesn't work on an aircraft that's just slightly bigger. So I believe there are shield holes on the front, a little bit on the top. And that can lead to some not so pleasant dogfighting experiences. But as we make our way around the aircraft, you can see that it is essentially the same, a very angled but beautiful front fuselage, the same type of intakes as a regular Hornet, the two-wing design, the main wing that spreads open when the landing gear is raised, the secondary wing as well just above it, the unique spoiler that is part of the entire Hornet series that kind of gives it its shape and its feel when you're flying around. I don't know if it actually adds any atmospheric benefits to have extra lift, but it certainly couldn't hurt. We have the exact same engine in the Super Hornet that we do in the regular Hornet as well. And in this loadout, it is completely 100% stock. So I have two gimbaled on each wing. I have two GT215s. And then I have Bulldog 227 repeaters on the top turret, and Bulldog 117 laser repeaters on the nose canard turret. So, without further ado, let's hop in this aircraft, fire it up, and away we go. So it is essentially the exact same layout as any other Hornet. We're going to go ahead and start the aircraft.
Anvil Aerospace. All systems online.
You get that fantastic startup sound with the engine kicking on. You can see our shields are building up. When I said I have a stock loadout, I meant weapons. I did not mean shields or systems. I always upgrade those and the quantum drive as before I go fly any aircraft, because the stock loadout of the Super Hornet is not awesome. But this does also have the stock missile loadout 2 of 8 Marksman 1 missiles. As we look around the cockpit, we can see we have all of our multifunctional displays here. We have 4 just above our knees, and 2 that are in easy view, and then 2 above with our warning panel. We have the exact same left and right panels as the Hornet, with our hand on the stick and 1 hand on the throttle. So we will go ahead and lift off here. We will back the landing gear, watch the wings spread. Zoom out a little bit here as we leave Everest Harbor. We're going to push to the right. And we can see the beautiful polluted planet Hurston in front of us with the Hurston Dynamics headquarters right in our full frontal view here. And who doesn't love a beautiful polluted planet? So enough of that. Let's head out into space. Go back into our cockpit view. We can see we have everything is gimbaled, so we do have a gimbal reticle. So with our left mouse button, we are firing our ballistics. With the right, we're firing our lasers. It's going to be a lethal combination. It's not the most powerful lasers that you can use, but they do have fairly high DPS and they have good range. The CF series do. We can see our SCM speed right here is an even 188 meters a second. And we will goose it up all the way to the top. Throw some afterburner into it. Transition back into the cockpit. We can see our max speed is climbing up there as we hit 12, 27, 28, right around there for max speed. Let's check out its roll rate. Not bad. I think it's a little bit slower than the Hornet, to be honest. Its pitch speed, it's about the same. Down, pitching up. It moves well, and I do enjoy flying it. So why don't we take this baby out for a spin, and let's go shoot down some bad guys.
Quantum drive is now on. Quantum drive is now off.
Alright, we just pulled out a quantum. I've set my speed limiter up about 2 clicks above SCM, which is where I like it. And we're going to search for our bounty here. We have a marker. We are fully gimbal right now with the stock loadout. This is an easy mission, just a CS1. Let's see how fast we can get them down. No misses. Oh, well, that was really fast. I didn't even get to see what kind of ship it was. Probably a Mustang Delta. Let's take a look, see if there's any other missions. There's another CS1. Well, we do have a combat assistance mission. These missions typically are very low paying and require a lot of fighting. So, let's give it a shot. It's not too far away. Well, we missed the higher paying one, but this one will probably still be a good test of our skills. I'm actually pulling out the sticks for this one. We already got 2 bad guys. Trying to get missile range, 2 missiles. Fire. That was really fast. Oh, that's the Anvil F7C Hornet. Imagine that. Okay, he went up pretty quick. Missile probably helped. Missile range. Firing. This is an Aegis Saber. Okay, he went quick too. Maybe too quick. Alright, this is another Aegis Saber. Firing missiles. I don't think my missiles hit, but the guns did. That guy went up. Okay, we're trying to get missile range. Firing. This is another Hornet. We're going to go into burner, try to catch him as he's shooting our targets down. Oh, something happened. We don't want to shoot the guy we're trying to protect. Alright, all our missiles are gone. Alright, took them out. That was fun. We had to protect 2 guys. Alright guys, you are protected. That's Team on Warner. There he goes. Alright. Project Protect Initiator name. I like that one. You can see on our top left MFD kind of how we're spinning. I'm not sure. Usually that's a turret display. Of which direction the turret is facing. But it is still slaved ahead, so that's interesting. So those were actually good aircraft to test this aircraft against. There's a EC alert. Let's give it a shot. Some more first-person dogfighting. Okay, we're gonna find our guy. Should be ahead of us. There he is. Really close to that piece of debris. Remember, we have no missiles, so we're all guns right now. There's our first bad guy. Cutty Black. So much more pirates we're fighting here. Even though we have gimbal weapons, we still want to try to keep our center part of our reticle aligned with the target so that our gimbal moves correctly. Okay, going pretty fast there, Buccaneer. We use our afterburners to try to catch back up. Oh, he's in that crazy flat spin. I must have taken out an engine or something. And scratched. Another Buccaneer. Typically, if people are jousting, you can avoid that by a simple strafe, strafing in the same direction, just like I did there. He was moving to my left, so I strafed left. And another Cutty Black. So now pulling back on the stick to lose some speed. Just trying to keep him in my crosshairs. Ooh. Alright, buddy. Well, enjoy being safe. We're going to head back and rearm and refuel. But as you can see, we've pulled out another variant of the Super Hornet. This one is the F7C-M Heartseeker. As you can see, it has some extra red accents around the aircraft, which I really enjoy. It also has a little pinup logo on the forward fuselage. My Valentine. I believe this specific version of the aircraft goes on sale at Valentine's Day. So it does have a different skin on it, but other than that, it's the exact same Super Hornet that we're used to. Now the loadout I have on here is fixed size 3s on all 3 of my lower hard points. Those are NDB 30s, the most powerful of the neutron repeaters. And on the top turret, I have the Hornet size 5 turret with a size 4 Revenant Gatling. So now I have 4 weapons, and I also have upgraded my missiles to all size 2. So now I have 4 size 2 missiles. So, very similar to my standard F7C Hornet loadout. I'm curious to see if I can kill anything quicker with this. I expect not to. But the last time I was using CF337 Panther repeaters, and now I have the NDB-30s. This is what I typically fly for a Hornet series, and this is my preferred aircraft, of course, because I paid the extra money for the skin. So let's go ahead and give it a joyride, a test ride, a little dogfighting, and let's see how it performs. As we pull out of quantum, we immediately run into bad guys. I need to target one guy. Try it. Notice I do have my gimbals on. I'm actually going to take those off, put them into lock mode. I took some hits there. This is a CS4, so a little bit more risk. But I do have some upgraded shields on this Super Hornet, so let's try not to get killed. The main target is a Drake Buccaneer. It's taking a little bit longer to kill the smaller fighters. Not having that gimbal. Oh, I must have done some damage to my engine. I took down my front shields. So maybe we found that shield hole, or I hit something. So I gotta try to avoid getting shot as much as possible. It's kind of like playing pool. When you make that first break, if you're not very good at pool, the balls don't go very far, but as the table opens up, you can make more and more shots. Maybe a little bit of the same way. Spread out our targets a little bit. A little bit longer range on our missiles. Let's shoot it at the straight Buccaneer. Oh, that was really fast. Too close for missiles for the Mustang. Blew him up real quick. Am I missing guns here? Nope, I'm good. I still got 4 guns. Get some missiles on the butt. Oh, that's a bug. So I think some of his friends got killed and he just stopped moving, so I did take some damage, it looks like. Definitely the engine is damaged. You can see with the sparks. But the wings are still intact, the spoiler's still intact. All 4 of my guns fire. So all in all, she handled well. Once I was able to get my reticle correct, I was able to get some good kills. You see up in the top left MFD, I did take some damage there. I told you I wasn't a good pilot. Let's Let's see if we can find one more mission. ECN alert. Let's take another CS4. See if we can get a Cutlass Black. It's in the same area, so I don't know. You tell me. Did you see me hit a piece of debris, or was it just bad luck? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna grab the sticks. As you can see, I still have the shield down alert. Oh, just taking too much to go past them. Too much firepower at once. Back in the out of this village. These buddies are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, one down. That's a Mustang. Do I have a Cuddy Black here? What's that guy? Where are you? Buccaneers. Seems like they're all Buccaneers. Buccaneers actually are very powerful. Okay, shot some missiles at that guy. And took down the Mustang Delta with just 2 missiles. Just really quick. Now we're kind of maybe toying with them. Shields are fully charged. Definitely did a little bit of damage to that buff. Took down one guy. Mustang Delta. So the reason I take off auto gimbals here because I want all my shots to converge at the same point. Whereas with the gimbal, it will follow it around and it makes the reticle all sloppy. I don't like it because then my lasers would have to follow the center reticle. So I'd just rather have them all at one point and force me to move my reticle to aim. Why do they joust so much? I don't know. Alright, let's get ready. As I pull into Everest Harbor for repairs, we're going to head on over to Urkel.games and check out the differences between the stock loadouts and some of the recommended loadouts I have for the Super Hornet. Stay tuned. Okay, let's just start again. So here we are in the Urkel.games website. The link will be provided in the description below and right up above in the top right corner. As we can see, the stock loadout, which I've already showed you in the video, it has 2 CF-117 Panther repeaters on the nose turret, 2 GT-215s on each wing, and 2 size 2 227 Badger laser repeaters on the top ball turret, which is in the 2-gun setup. It has 8 Marksman 1 missiles, size 1 missiles. And unlike the regular F7C Hornet, except for the quantum drive, the shields, the power plant, and the coolers are all military grade C. So that's a little bit of a step up. Military performs a little bit better. I wouldn't say it's really any type of performance gain. You might see a little bit from here and there, but most people in the game at this point, they're upgrading their equipment quickly. The cost to upgrade this fighter, which we're going to go over here in just a minute, is relatively low compared to the cost of upgrading a size 2 ship or a large ship. Those components can run into well over $1 million just to buy them. So it takes a while. But these smaller fighter ships is how you earn that money. We can see that you can actually buy the Super Hornet over at Astro Armada in Area 18 on planet ArcCorp for 2.1 million Alpha UEC. Its role as a medium fighter, its career is a combat field. It is technically a ship size of 2, which is basically a medium fighter. I would consider it a medium fighter. I would not consider it heavy. I would consider the regular F7C a little bit more armored, and so it's kind of in the medium between a medium and a heavy fighter. Gives our dimensions here, our speed of 189 meters a second, our afterburner speed of 1228, which we've shown. This regular speed is your SCM speed. The pitch, yaw, and roll rates, and the hydrogen capacity and the quantum fuel capacity, which is actually very good for both, and it's fairly cheap to fill up. So with that, this is the stock loadout. I am going to go ahead and upgrade the systems, and let's see how much that costs. So for shields, we are going to go to an industrial palisade shield. You could also do a guardian. It does recharge a little faster, not as many hit points. So we're going to go with one palisade and one military FR66. That'll balance out the shield power, so you'll be able to recharge at a good rate and still have a high hit point pool. For power plants, we're going to go with the military tried and true JS300 power plant. It'll give you all the power that you need. It's a military grade A, as are the shields. And with the coolers, we're going to go with the industrial grade A Ultra Flow, because right now coolers don't really matter, and these seem to perform the best. For a quantum drive, if you've watched the F7C Hornet video, you'll see that I prefer to use the Atlas. It gives us enough range to go from Port Olisar all the way to Microtech with one jump in about 9 minutes, give or take, and still have enough fuel to jump to Port Tressler or actually go to the capital of New Babbage. It's just a good drive. It's a grade A, so it actually spools up and spools down faster than some of the other drives that are not grade A. So for this loadout on the Urkel website, we need to put everything into our cart, and then it'll show us how much it costs. So we're going to put our non-stock items into the cart here, and we're going to pull up our cart up here on the left. Still trying to get used to this new loadout. So to upgrade our ship, keeping the stock weaponry, which we've shown works very well as is, it's 134,350 Alpha UEC. And it also shows us here where we can buy all the gear that we need. Palisade, FR66, JS300, 2 Ultra Flows, and an Atlas Quantum Drive. So we can buy the stuff at Crew L4, Port Olisar, Grim Hex, Levski, Port Olisar. And it also gives us the price. Now, we could go in here and further expand. I believe we can get almost everything at New Babbage if you want to do one-stop shopping. So we could get the Palisade at New Babbage. We can get the FR66 there. We can get the JS300. We can get the Ultra Flows, but what you cannot get at New Babbage is the Atlas Quantum Drive. You can either get that at Port Olisar or her L5. So this is a fairly short shopping list. And now I'm going to go with the loadout I use on the Heartseeker, which is my standard loadout. I am going to get rid of the nose turret. I'm going to put fixed on everything. I like this because it gives me good range to kill bigger or smaller ships fairly efficiently. We're going to get rid of that ball turret on the top with the 2 size 2s, and we're going to go with the size 5 turret, size 4 weapon. On the nose, we're going to go with our NDB-30. Urkel is saying that the attrition 3s will provide more DPS. They do provide more DPS when they get up to 700 degrees, as we can see over there. At 616 DPS. At 300 degrees, they're actually quite a bit lower than the NDB-30s. So I like to go with NDB-30s, one, because they're white, and they match the color scheme of the Hornet. The Hornet is also white. And and it's a good medium range. You know, the Hornet's going to be fighting up close anyway, so you might as well get weapons that are going to do the most damage up close. And those, right now, are the NDV-30s. So we're going to go with that. The neutron repeater. I'm also going to put one on each wing. And I'm going to go to the ballistic Gatling for the Remnant. I also upgrade my missile launchers to 2 size 2s. And I use cross-section missiles. I typically use the Strike Force 2s. The systems are the same from the previous loadout. And let's go ahead and add this to the cart. Right here. And then we're going to go check out our cart. So this is quite a bit more items because we're adding weapons. So you can see you can get this stuff all over. Again, I believe you can get everything on here except for the specialty mount, which you can get at Levski, Grimhex, or HRL2. You can get everything else at Microtech besides the Quantum Drive and the size 5 mount. So the total cost of this is $228,279 Alpha UEC. Again, a pretty low number considering that some ship loadouts are over $1 million. This is under $250,000. You might have to spend some time getting it fully upgraded. But if you want the most powerful loadout, in my opinion, that's what you're going to have to pay. Now, you can see the most expensive item on the list is 2 Ultraflows at $55,000. And the 3 NDB-30s at $41,000. The Remnant by itself is almost $43,000. So there's a reason it costs a lot of money. It's because it does a lot of damage. Now we can empty that cart and we can go with a more ballistic loadout. I always recommend to keep one laser on your ship just in case you run out of bullets and you still want to get that kill. So if we replace our wing weapons with Mantis GT220s and we put our items into the cart and we pull up our cart again, we can see that the cost is roughly the same, a little bit less, $227,379 Alpha UEC. And the Mantis GT220s we can get at, oh, surprise, surprise, new Babbage, also Area 18. So that's the loadout here on Urkel. You can select more ships. You can pick out the regular Super Hornet or the Super Hornet Heartseeker. I don't think they have any differences. Let's see. I mean, they have dimensional differences, but let's see if they have any pick-jaw roll. 5550, 117. Hey, look, it's the exact same specs as the regular Super Hornet. So we just know the dimensions are smaller. Now the stock loadout on the Heartseeker is a little bit different. This is what you get when you buy it. You get Rattler missiles, which are basically Vandal cluster missiles, and you get 4 size 2s, just like I would recommend anyway. These Rattler 2s are infrared. I don't particularly prefer those, as right now cross sections seem to have the best tracking mechanism. It comes stock with all laser cannons. Now these are cannons, so they do high alpha damage. However, I like being able to see where my shots go, so I prefer the repeaters. But to each their own, and whatever you want to use, you can use. At some point in time, I am going to do another video of just over Urkel here and checking out the different weapons and the statistics that they have on them, so look for that one in the future. The stock shields are 2 force walls, military grade B, so a step up from the stock Super Hornet. The power plant is an overdrive, military grade C, not really a step up. But the coolers are a step up. They're 2 polar coolers, they're military grade B. And surprise, surprise, it has the same quantum drive, which is very fuel efficient, but you're adding almost a minute of time from Port Olisar to Microtech with a civilian grade C. If you bump up again to the Atlas, I guess it's about 40 seconds or so. You're saving about 40 seconds of time. If that's important to you, go ahead and upgrade. So that's our review of the parts and prices on Urkel.games. I highly recommend you go to this website and use it for your loadouts. Again, the link is in the doobly-doo below. Now we're going to head on over to check out the PDF brochure that CIG provides and just look at what they have on the Super Hornet. We've already done a review on most of it with the regular Hornet. And after that, we're going to watch some third-person chase camera dogfighting, and then we'll wrap up this video. So let's go to the brochure. Alright, so here we are at the brochure page for the F7C-M Super Hornet. If there ever was a question of whether it's possible to harness power into physical form, the Super Hornet would provide the answer. It is the closest to the military F7A loadout as is legally possible for a civilian model. The F7C-M Super Hornet reattaches the ball turret and offers near mil-spec parts under the hood. Proving that two heads are better than one, a second seat has been added to split the logistic and combat duty, making the Super Hornet a truly intimidating mark to engage. So as you can see, it does come stock with that turret, and it looks like on this picture here it loses the nose turret and replaces it with a size 3 gun. So this is also very early artwork, same time when the first brochure came out, the same brochure, but it gives basically the same specs here, a little bit different loadout, which is not accurate anymore. So this is the variant page on the Super Hornet brochure available on the RSI website. And as promised, here we have Jawa Sparky doing some dogfighting with a third-person chase cam view. Enjoy. that wraps up the review on the F7C-M Super Hornet by Anvil Aerospace. What do you think of the Super Hornet? Do you think the extra seat in the back for a Rio or a gunner adds an element that you want to explore in the game for different types of gameplay, or gameplay with a friend or an NPC, or possibly a future AI blade? Do you think the Super Hornet's a better aircraft than the standard Hornet? Whatever you think, I'd like to hear what you have to say. I like to engage and respond with my audience, whatever you may think, whether we agree or disagree. So please, if you have a chance, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and it'll help me be motivated to provide more content in the future. And from the hot, volcanic plains of Ariel, this is Fist25 signing off, saying good night, Stanton.